now, live from San Antonio, Mike Taylor.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Been up since 5:45 this morning. Don't know why. I hate when I wake up and I can't go back to bed. And I normally get up around 6:30, so it wasn't that bad. But boy, that last 45 minutes that I did not get today, it is catching up to me. The last hour or two of sleep is the most important. And shit, it's one of those mornings where I just got up. I had to take a leak so bad. I think I was too stoned to go to the restroom last night and fell asleep. You ever had those nights where it's like you have to pee for 7 hours in a row, but you just don't get up and go? That was me last night. I had to go potty all night long, but did not do it.
You got to be careful in those situations. If you ever see a chance to pee in your dream, don't take it.
Oh, really? Oh, have you had experience with that? In your adulthood?
No, I haven't, but I just know that you shouldn't take the chance if you're dreaming and you see a chance to pee.
No, I agree.
Do not take that chance.
I just, for whatever reason, man, I was asleep enough to not be able to get up, but cognizant enough that I had to go, but didn't go. So 5:45, man, just woke up on my own, went in there and just drained the weasel and figured, shit, it's 5:45. I get up at 6:30. I might as well just start.
It's like reading. A 10-minute leak because you held it in so long.
Yeah, sucks too. Yeah, so punch me to start off with for not going potty until 5:45 this morning and messing up my sleep pattern. We got a lot of punches today. It is People I Want to Punch, presented by the Law Office of Orlando Kell, who also presents to us the Cowboys Overreact show that I'll do again on Sunday. Not the full production like we did last week at the Ringer, but we'll have one in 2 weeks after the New England gang back at the Ringer.
2 weeks.
But Orlando also brings you People I Want to Punch. For 15 and a half years, I couldn't get that thing sponsored at iHeart. 2 months on my own, and bam, what's up, bitches? It is Orlando Kell. Thank you. If you got law issues, and Orlando's your guy. Family law, divorce, custody, visitation. If you've been arrested for doing stupid shit, you still have a right to defense in this country, and Orlando's our guy. Father's rights. I love that. I love family lawyers, men, even girls, but I just love family lawyers that take an interest in dads, because a lot of good dads out there that get sucked into the black hole of bad dads, and we all get lumped into the same cave, and that ain't cool. Anyhow, so it's the Law Office of Orlando Kell. Love him hard. He brings us punch. I got a few today we'll go through as we get the show going today. I'm sure LG's got one or two. I'm going to start off by, in no particular order, I want to punch Dan Patrick, the noted broadcaster. not the lieutenant governor of the great state of Texas. I get Dan Patrick and Ken Paxton mixed up. Dan Patrick's the lieutenant governor. Ken Paxton's the AG, the attorney general.
Yeah. Paxton's the one that just got off the trial, got acquitted or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
And the other one's the dude with the eye patch.
No.
Oh, no, that's Crenshaw.
That's
right?
Crenshaw.
No. He's
He's a state rep.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen the other Dan Patrick. I just know he's an asshole.
He's an ugly motherfucker. He's older. His hair's turned white now. He did talk radio in Houston for years. He's got a real scrunched up face. He wears glasses. He's got a real pointy nose. He's just kind of smarmy looking, like all the other politicians are. Now, Dan Crenshaw's the dude that got hurt in Afghanistan.
Oh, is that what the eye patch is?
Lost an eye. Mm-hmm. Pete Davidson made fun of him on SNL one night, and Pete got dragged by all of America because the guy's a war hero. And so the very next Saturday, SNL flew Representative Crenshaw, the congressman, to the SNL set, and he did a guest spot with Pete that very next week. It was pretty good, actually. It was actually really cool.
Good on him to.
It was good on both
to own it.
It was good on Pete and Dan Crenshaw. It was a rare moment of two men from opposite sides of the country hanging out and he was doing shtick about Ariana Grande, who had just dumped Pete Davidson at the time. So it was pretty funny. Pete took his medicine, and it was cool, and it made me like Pete and respect him more. All right, but
what happened with the real Dan Patrick?
I'm punching the real Dan Patrick, a guy who I've done a half a show on Dan Patrick and my experiences that I've had with Dan Patrick. A couple of months ago, we talked about the weekend that I spent with Dan when he was covering the Annika Sorenstam appearance of the Colonial years and years ago, over 20 years ago, when Annika became the first female to ever play in a PGA Tour event. And Dan Patrick was in town, and I got to know Dan a little bit, although I've not seen Dan since 2002 or something. So I don't really know Dan. I just got to work with him for 3 days, but I've always liked Dan Patrick. So I don't hate Dan Patrick. Dan's 3-time Marconi winner, blah, blah, blah. But I am going to punch him to show that just because I like you does not mean that punching you is above board. Dan Patrick, I was in the car Tuesday. When was this? That's yesterday. Driving around listening to Dan Patrick on that iHeart. And I heard Dan criticize Mickey for not replaying the Nick Chubb injury. Did you happen to watch the Browns-Steelers game? I'm assuming you did not.
So no, but I did see the injury.
The veteran running back, Nick Chubb, suffered a catastrophic knee injury Monday night. Back-to-back Monday night games, boy. They've jinxed major players. Aaron Rodgers went down the week 1. Now we got Nicky Chubb going down this week. Nicky Chubb. And I can joke because he's fine, although his knee's not. Nick Chubb wrecked his knee. His career is in jeopardy. It was so bad that, you can hear, like when they showed the replay over the big screen at Heinz Field or wherever the Steelers play, and you heard 80,000 people all groan at once. That's how bad and gruesome it looked. And ESPN made the decision not to replay it. And the great Troy Aikman and Joe Buck were like, "Oh yeah, we've decided that we're not going to replay the injury. It's too bad to replay." And Aikman was like, "Oh yeah, it's so bad, it's not cool to replay this," and so they're not. Dan Patrick criticized Mickey for not replaying the catastrophic injury. Look, we've all seen catastrophic injuries. We've all seen slow-mos of catastrophic injuries. Dak's was awful. We all saw that. And poor Dak couldn't hide his. With Chubb, he was able to kind of roll over and lay on it, and no one could really see that it was how contorted the knee was. Then all of a sudden, it was in a scrum of players. When Dak got hurt, he was out in the open. So the whole damn world was able to see that foot go in the wrong direction. But when I think Fox may have showed the replay once, and then that was it. They didn't show it again. But Mickey decided not to show it at all the other night. And Dan Patrick criticized Mickey. I guess Dan's out of material already, week 2 into the NFL season. And this is above Dan. This is, Dan's above this. Where are we at in society when it's like if there's no video, if I don't get to see it on video, then it didn't happen?
We're living in a society.
Why do I need to see a replay of a guy suffering a catastrophic, career-threatening, gruesome injury? It's purely for my dark entertainment value. When you show a game on TV, it's for entertainment purposes, but some things are more than entertainment. I didn't need to see Nick Chubb's knee to be... I know what that means. He suffered a massive injury. He's out for the year. Nick Chubb may never be the same. It was really awful. Okay, that resonates with me. I don't need to see the video to understand what that means conceptually. It's like we become this society where it's either there's video or pictures or it didn't happen. That's bullshit, Like rape scenes in movies. I always get mad at movies that have rape scenes in them. Just allude to the fact that a girl was raped. Why do I need to see a depiction of it? It's disgusto. I'm a grown-ass man. I know what that word means, and I know what catastrophic knee injury means. I don't need to see the replay. And they went on, and those minions in that room with Dan just kissed his ass and agreed with him. Bullshit. They were out of line. Anyway, what else? I want to punch Jeff Levy. Some of y'all may know who that is. It is People I Want to Punch Today, brought to you by the law office of Orlando Kell. Punch Jeff Levy, who is the offensive coordinator in Oklahoma. Mobahoma. Bum-ba-da-bum-bum. Jeff Levy, who is a good friend of Art Briles's, who is literally related to Art Briles, the erstwhile Baylor coach, who is probably the most blackballed college football coach. Well, he's not probably. He is the most blackballed college football coach of my lifetime, as far as head coaches go. The infamy of the Art Briles saga at Baylor is obviously well chronicled, which it's funny because Baylor's actually in the news today. This case is in the news. Years and years of Art Briles turning the other cheek, or maybe rephrase, Art Briles turning a blind eye, here's my cliche, to sexual assault, which was rampant throughout his fucking football team when he was the coach at Baylor, allowing bullshit to go on and not doing anything about it because he was desperate to win ball games. And then Briles, of course, was let go very unceremoniously. Briles has not been able to get a job above high school since. Well, Jeff Levy was at Baylor as an assistant coach all those years. All that shit was going on at Baylor. And Art Briles' daughter married Jeff Levy. And that's fine. People fall in love with whoever they fall in love with. And Jeff Levy defends Art Briles at every turn he gets. And blah, blah, blah. What I'm saying is, punch Jeff Levy for having Briles on the field, though, during Oklahoma's game last week. and there's Art Briles out there on the sideline, and Brent Venables, the head coach, he's failed. Brent Venables was pissed when he found out that they had Art Briles on the sideline, and he had an Oklahoma shirt on. That's bad for Cruton. I don't know that Brent Venables gives one shit whether or not Art Briles is on the sideline, but the fact that he decided to wear the Oklahoma shirt, that's bad for business. So punch Jeff Levy for being completely myopic when it comes to that. And Levy defended Art Briles. After the game, Levy was asked about it, and he's like, well, that's my father-in-law. I love the guy. I mean, I'm married to his daughter, for crying out loud. That's fine. He can go to games, but don't have his ass down there on the sideline and in the Oklahoma jersey. By the way, I mentioned Baylor settling. Baylor has come to an out-of-court settlement with the 15 or 16 victims who filed that massive lawsuit in 2016. Baylor University has written checks finally, and they've written some checks in the past, but they did it collectively this week. There has been a settlement in recent days with all of the victims, these poor women who were college students at Baylor during the Art Briles tenure, in which it was basically, it was just open season on the co-eds if you played Baylor football and no one gave a shit, which is what led to Art Briles' infamous reputation. So punch Levy for, it's one thing to have him down there. I mean, give him a ticket, let him sit in the bleachers, put him up in the press box. Give him a suite. Don't have him on the sideline with an OU shirt on. All you're doing is looking like an asshole. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, you're right. That is your father-in-law. But he's still Art effing Briles, and get his ass off the sideline, and Brent Venables says he's handled it, so Jeff Levy's not allowed to have him down there anymore. All right, LG, who you punching today, homie?
I would like to punch Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
The entire organization or the people that run the little dink-donk place that I dropped you off at yesterday?
I'm going to say the entire organization.
Okay, the CEO.
Yeah, just because it has something to do with their system.
Usually when someone wants to punch a company, we do, because, this is a personal segment. You have to come up with a name. So who's Enterprise? Let's just punch the CEO, right? Since the buck stops with him.
Yeah, let's do that.
Enterprise.
Anyway, while you figure that out.
Okay, go. Tell me your story.
So I rented a car yesterday because my car's broke.
My
Toyota Corolla. I got the cheapest car I could find. Mm-hmm. Besides it being, like a Chevy Cruiser, like one of those little tiny cars.
Right.
I got a mid-size.
I was going to say,
right?
that's
a
not
mid-size.
That's not what's parked out in front of your house right now.
No.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's the punch.
Okay.
So I made a reservation, and when I got there, they did not have the car for me. They said they don't have that car. They don't have any mid-size.
When you got there?
Yeah, when I got there.
Okay.
So they were able to take the reservation, but they left out the most important part. They didn't hold the reservation. They told me the lady who was there 5 minutes before me just got the last mid-size they had.
Huh. So that's why you're driving the pickup truck.
Yeah. So they gave me a Chevy Colorado. Now, granted, they didn't upcharge me for that.
Yeah.
But the damn thing gets like 18 miles to the gallon. And it's huge. Like I don't need a truck right now.
Well, you can get your gear back there though, right?
Yeah, but I can't secure it.
Yeah.
It's a wide open freaking pickup.
All right, so
they couldn't. I reserved a freaking sedan, a mid-sized sedan. Yeah. Why didn't they hold that? What's the point of the damn reservation if you can't hold the reservation?
Right.
There's a Seinfeld episode that I basically just quoted right there where they don't hold his rental car. And basically he says the same thing. Like, why even take the reservation if you can't follow through?
Right. Well, unfortunately, the Taylor family are who owns Enterprise Rental.
Oh, of course.
And they're a bunch of
that
white-
all makes sense.
Well, they're a bunch of whites, which means maybe I'm related to them somehow. God, that'd be so great if I found out that I was related to the Enterprise Rental Taylors.
Well, yeah, you need to get some money there.
Because you know there's a lot of weirdness around my last name and where it came from and how it got to be how my name got to be my name, the ass backwards, banging hoes on the side. You know, my grandmother was a Sancha to a dude. It's a long story. It's complicated. I've told it before, but we don't have the hour and a half that I need to tell the whole story today. The CEO of Enterprise Rental, you'll love this. Her granddad founded the company, and now she's the CEO. Gee, I wonder how she got to be CEO.
Right.
Chrissy Taylor is her name. She's
Okay.
only one of 4 female CEOs, I believe, amongst a Fortune 500 company in America, something like that.
Interesting.
So
you need to.
but she earned it the old-fashioned way by having her grandpa make her the boss.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm sure she's smart.
Best way to become rich is be born rich.
Well, you'd like to know how much Chrissy made last year in salary.
Not really. I could give a fuck.
Take a guess. It's funny. Just makes it
$2 billion.
Just drives it home.
No.
Dude,
She's not a billionaire. Let me think. Is she?
Lawrence.
Enterprise is pretty big. What is it? Tell me.
She made $8 billion last year.
Damn. Well, they can afford to fix their damn system and hold the reservation. When I reserve a midsize, I don't want a freaking truck.
No,
okay?
she keeps all the cash. That's why they don't have any cars. That's why iHeart doesn't have any employees at the ticket, yet they pay $1 million to Foo Fighters to play iHeart Music Fest.
CEO pay is astronomically ridiculous.
This is her. That's Chrissy. There's the lady who's responsible for your car trouble. So you're just stuck with this truck for how long?
I'm going to take it back probably tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
My car's
did
fixed.
they
My
get
other
your
car's
car in?
fixed.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That was
Yeah,
fast.
yeah.
So what was wrong with
It
your
was
car?
just the battery, and battery was under warranty, so it got replaced for free.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, that's good. So do you need a ride? I guess you have one.
No, I don't need a ride.
Because I went and dropped Lawrence off at the Enterprise rental place yesterday at an undisclosed Enterprise here in town somewhere. And when I got there, I thought, you sure you don't want me to wait for you, bro? Because
It looked a little rough.
It looked a
It's
little rough.
area, yeah. Looked like a chop shop.
It did. And I'm like, and he was like, no, I'm good, man. I'm like, okay. So I left him there, and obviously you're alive, so I'm glad to see it. You have the car you didn't want. I'm sorry for that, sir.
That's fine. But yeah, it's just the whole reservation thing.
It's an ass whip.
I've had that happen at hotel rooms before where I reserved 2 double beds. And they're like, oh, we had to give your room away, so here's a room with 1 queen, and I've got someone with me. It's like, you know, and that I don't sleep in the same bed with.
Well, dude, this goes back to yesterday. Yesterday's entire show was me complaining about humans and, well, the American worker who does not do their fucking job. Oh, they're outsourcing jobs to Indians. Well, that's because they're fucking working, and your ass don't show up on time, and you bitch.
And they work for peanuts.
Okay, that's fine, but still, the average American worker wants incentives. You know, I've read some pieces in Forbes in the last 3 months on how, like, it's unprecedented how hard it is to hire people, younger people. Here we go. Uncle Mike's ready to bitch. Young people want they want their job to be like a fucking resort, or they won't work there. Well, what are my off days? How long is the lunch? Do we get 2 breaks and a lunch? Can I bring my spirit animal with me or my comfort animal with me to the office? Is there a daycare located into it? I'm going to have to get my nails done every 3 weeks, so I'm going to have to take Wednesdays off every 3 weeks. It's like, and a lot of these companies are so desperate to bring workers in, they actually capitulate and start offering like higher incentives. It's like recruiting football players in a lot of these places because younger people are lazy fucks and they don't want to do anything. They're entitled. They want to just go into the workforce and make 6 figures for 30 hours a week. Let's go to a 4-day work week. Shall we? Anyway, I'm frustrated with the American worker. And we talked about this yesterday. And I know that minimum wage in this state, $7.25, that's criminal. It's outrageous. It's been that since you were in your 20s, right?
Yeah.
$7.25, that's crazy.
Since high school, at least. So I think it was $6.50 when I got my first job. And then like a year later, they bumped it up and that was the last time.
So, I mean, it's hard to, if you're a 7-Eleven and you need somebody to go make tacos at Laredo Taco, it's hard to get good people to come in there and work. When, I mean, shit, why should I bust my ass for $7.25 an hour? But it's not even just that. There are people making $47.25 an hour who bitch all day long because Americans are pains in the asses. And the demise of this country is well underway, and there's no way we're around in 200 years as a country. We're going to be the People's Republic of China West. Ooh, all right. I also want to punch the co-founder of Rolling Stone magazine, Jan Wenner. Because he's a racist asshole. Man. And, I subscribed to this magazine for 25 years. I was a weekly reader of Rolling Stone magazine. I'm a staunch magazine reader. And for 25 years at least, I subscribed to Rolling Stone. Well, I have not read a Rolling Stone in probably 2 years. And I dropped my subscription 5 years ago, and I haven't read the thing probably in 2. I think the last time I read a Rolling Stone, I thumbed through one at the airport maybe 2 years ago, hanging out, and just wanted to read something. They actually had a band on the cover that I had actually heard of, and decided to read up on that band. But anyhow, Jan Wenner, the legendary Rock and Roll Hall of Fame committee member, is no more. He has been removed from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's committee, who votes on new bands every year. He co-founded Rolling Stone magazine. He co-founded the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame itself. He has been removed from the Hall's board of directors after making disparaging comments about female musicians and African-American musicians.
Go home and get your fucking shine box.
Jeez, man. So it turns out the old baby boomer, Jan Wenner, who had, what's funny and ironic about this? Like the liberals always, they're always the ones who are like, oh, there's no racist liberals, right? They're not, it's the Republicans who are all racist. Liberals, they're pro-woman. Okay. This is one of the most liberal dudes in America, and that's actually one of the reasons I quit reading Rolling Stone. A, I was getting too old for the music that they hype, which is fine, that happens. But B, it's so over the top, one direction, that it's always been a liberal magazine, and hell, that's part of the reason I read it for 25 years, because I am a, which I hate labeling myself because it changes all the time, because this country changes its politics all the time. You would call me a left-leaning centrist, a left-leaning moderate. That magazine got so far to the left that it became comical, and I quit reading it about 5 years ago.
You've been a subscriber for how long?
But I probably
before, yeah,
from 18 years old till about 5 years ago.
Okay,
how long is that?
I've never really read a lot until they started publishing online, and I've noticed that every single article that pops up on my feed is a political article, and it has nothing to do with music.
And it's more than ever.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Too much, and it's
all. I was wondering, did they always
point of view.
do political articles in the past, or is it just they're ramping it up?
Yes, but not like this.
Okay,
it's become fucking Newsweek. And by the way, here's a new rapper who's got a record.
It's like the fucking Washington Post almost.
It is. Yeah. So it used to they would have political commentary, but it would be one article. Like they would have 2 or 3 dudes that just like they have a guy called Matt Taibbi. He was a longtime political writer for that magazine. I don't think Matt writes for them anymore. So you'd have the magazine, it'd be music, some news, but then Matt would have a political commentary and write a piece on politics. And that's fine. Most magazines have different, they got sports, we got news, we got politics, we got entertainment. Cool. If I get all that in a magazine, great. But it became 60-40 politics. And the politics was Che Guevara to the left. Too much. And I dropped it 5 years ago. So it's just so funny that this perfect liberal man from California, turns out he's racist and he hates women. The Hall released a statement. Jan Wenner's been removed from the board of directors of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Foundation. So what happened was Jan Wenner came out with a book called The Masters, which is funny. It features interviews with legendary musicians. He does a piece in here with Bob Dylan. There's an old piece with the late Jerry Garcia. Mick Jagger, John Lennon, Bruce Springsteen, Pete Townsend, Bono. And it had all these past interviews that he's done with these people, whether they're alive or dead, over the years. And somebody decided and somebody read the book and noticed that it was nothing but a bunch of white musicians and male. Why'd you just do white male musicians for your Masters series? And rather than coming up with just, these are the guys that I knew and I had their contacts and these are Masters. This had nothing to do with anything else. When he's asked, why didn't you interview women or black musicians? Jan Wenner responded, quote, It's not that they're inarticulate, although go have a conversation with Grace Slick or Janis Joplin. Please be my guest. He starts throwing women musicians under the bus, saying that they're pains in the asses. Go have a deep conversation with Grace Slick or Janis Joplin. Please be my guest, he says, all honorary. Joni Mitchell was not a philosopher of rock and roll. She didn't, in my mind, meet that test. And he goes, of black artists, Stevie Wonder, genius, right? I suppose when you use a word as broad as Masters, the fault is using that word. Maybe Marvin Gaye or Curtis Mayfield, I could have talked to them. I mean, they just were not articulate and didn't articulate on that level. So the black man doesn't articulate on the elite level that he needed to write his book, and women are pains in the asses, LGs. That's why we didn't do any women interviews. So now we're canceling Jan Wenner. What a dumbass. What a jackass. His magazine sucks, by the way. I could deal. I don't mind, even if it's a super far left Che Guevara-like piece. Okay, cool. It's one column in a magazine. But it's basically a political magazine that also covers some tunes on occasion. And as I mentioned earlier, it's also just kind of passed me by. The bands that magazine covers, the artists that magazine covers, it's all now, and I understand they're just trying to sell magazines to a new generation of people. I don't know how many young people read Rolling Stone. Maybe they read it online. It's all geared toward 22-year-old EDM fans of tunes. You know what I mean? It's new rappers and new pop stars that I've never heard of any of them. A lot of them are TikTok stars and YouTube stars and stuff, and that's great. That's their business model now. Go for it. I'm just not going to subscribe to it. So it's funny that after all those years of being a huge fan of Jan Wenner's, he's just an old racist, misogynist asshole. So there's people I want to punch today. All right. This show also brought to you by R&R Auto Glass. They are easy to find right by the airport at 281 in Tacoma. They take all insurances. They are locally owned and operated by Puro San Antonio people. They are super fast. You take your car in there today. It's unfortunate that LG had battery problems. Had he had a bashed out windshield, he would have been in and out of there in about an hour and a half with the same car, not having to bring a rag home or drive that for 2 days. He would have got the same car, and he would have got a discount because he would have mentioned me. Mention Uncle Mike at R&R Auto Glass, they'll give you an especial, the R&R hookup. Just mention old Taylor, the podcaster, the radio washout, whatever you want. It is R&R Auto Glass, 340-2588, 340-2588, or rnrautoglass.com, rnrautoglass.com. All right, I need to get a drink of espresso. So I need a funny drop or something to kill. We need an interstitial when I take my little coffee drinks.
Hold on.
Stick your cock up her ass.
We're never going to get bought by Netflix with that drop, dude. We're going to be known as
Why not?
immature.
There's a new Exorcist movie coming out, so it's timely. It's topical.
You're right about that. I did see a preview of the new Exorcist movie.
It actually looks interesting.
We'll go see it, and then you can do a review on this show.
Okay.
I don't think I will
do.
see it, but I'm open to having an LG review of said movie.
I do have 2 free tickets for the Palladium when they fucked up the Oppenheimer thing.
Oh, yeah, you need to burn them. Go see the Exorcist movie, and you're getting in free, so if the movie's shit, at least you didn't pay for it.
True.
Yeah, all right, cool. Let's talk Cowboys. All right, there's a few Cowboys talking points I want to get to before Sunday. Or here midweek, it's Wednesday. This is the big practice day where they get ready for the opponent. They start mixing in the new game plan. Monday is come in for treatment because everybody's beaten up. Tuesday is an off day. Stay home and get some sleep. Wednesday is, Wednesday and Thursday are full padded practices. And we start instilling the game plan for those hated Arizona Cardinals. And the Cowboys have some injury issues like everybody else does after 2 weeks of the car wreck football league. None of them are too pressing as of now. No doubt there's no question 2 or 3 or 4 major starters will go down at some point for the year. It's football. It's what happens. It's just a matter of the luck and hoping it's not anybody that's super crucial. But anyhow, I digress. Rico Dowdle, Deuce Vaughn, and Tony Pollard have played well as a 3-man running back group to start the season. And that meant that there was no room for Ronald Jones, the veteran they brought in who was in Tampa, I think, last year. They brought Ronald Jones in, and they released him. He got suspended for the first 2 games of the season for PEDs. He pled his case, said it was bullcrap. He was taking something to treat an injury or something or an ailment of some sort, and it happened to have a chemical in there that was banned by the NFL, but at no point was he trying to cheat. The Cowboys defended him. But unfortunately, and I don't know that he would have made the team anyway. Hell, he got suspended, so that meant the Cowboys couldn't release him. I don't think that Ronald Jones would have made the team out of training camp anyway because Deuce Vaughn had a good camp. Rico Dowdle showed them enough that he could be the backup to Tony Pollard, and so Jones never was going to have a chance here. So anyhow, we never even got to play a snap for the Cowboys, so whatever. Now, I mentioned the injuries. So obviously, Brandon Cooks did not play in this game. Fort Worth's own Tyler Smith did not play in this game. Brandon Cooks tweaked his MCL the week of practice before the Giants game, it happened I think during the Giants game, but it messed him up where he couldn't play in the Jets game. Getting my New York teams mixed up, and so Cooks didn't play in the Jets game. Right now, they are cautiously optimistic that he could play in the Arizona game. I would err on the side of caution. The Cowboys showed that they can get the ball to others, even the running backs. Hell, Dak Prescott completed 11 passes to running backs. I don't remember the last time that's ever happened in a Cowboy game because of the Texas Coast offense that they're now running. It's the Dak and Dunk or the Dunk and the Dink and Doink Dak. You know, it's the West Coast kind of down the field. And because you're going to throw the ball to running backs, you can get by without Brandon Jones for a couple of weeks, especially against meek teams like the Jets and the Cardinals, the Jets aren't even as good as the Cardinals aren't even as good as the Jets. I would sit Brandon Cooks unless he's more than 95%. Fort Worth's own Tyler Smith, the stud rookie left guard from last year, he hadn't played yet because he tweaked his hammy in the practice before the Giants game. And so he hadn't played yet. Problem is, the kid that started in Tyler Smith's spot at left guard in the Jets game Sunday, Chuma Edoga, he messed up his elbow a little bit. So if y'all remember, there was that white boy with that red hair out there playing left guard, a big part of the thank you. AF Blue 82 has become a member. Love it. Thank you, man. Join AF Blue 82 and become a member of this show for only $6 a month. So something called TJ Bass had to play left guard for the Cowboys. Ugh. They can get by with that against the Jets and the Cardinals. So I would say go ahead and let Tyler Smith sit out again. But if Chuma Edoga can't go, I'm fine with playing TJ Bass. It is the Cardinals, you know. Like, I don't want to act like there's no chance in hell the Cardinals can win this game, but the odds are stacked against them against a good Cowboy team that's super red hot going in. My point is you can be cautious with these people. You got bigger fish to fry later on in the season. I'm not trying to get people hurt for a long time because we want to play in the Cardinals game. Meanwhile, Zach Martin, he's now banged up. Funny how the guy that held out all summer now shows up and he's banged up. That tends to happen. Zach Martin now has an ankle issue. He tweaked his ankle in the game. That could have happened at any time, but he also has growing issues. I cannot tell you how many times over the years that holdouts or guys that couldn't play in the summer during training camp and couldn't do anything because maybe they were injured or they were holding out, But then they show up and they're just those guys like that are just always kind of sore all year long because he wasn't there all summer. He wasn't going through the Cowboys version of training camp. He was training out. He was working out on his own, I guess. So he's had a sore groin these first 2 weeks. Now, the ankle, that could happen at any time. But the groin, that might be a result of him not being out there at training camp doing anything all summer long. So watch Zach Martin, the offensive line. God almighty. He doesn't have a whole lot of depth anyway. And now they've got guys that are dinged up here early on. Thank God the defense is playing well. And the offense is doing just enough. The Cardinals are meek. Go in there Sunday and feast on their ass. Feast on the meek. Go out there and get a comfortable lead so you can milk some of these guys on offensive line that are dealing with their issues. All right? All right. What else today? This show brought to you in part by Live Oak Vodka. The official vodka of Thunderdome is Live Oak, remarkably clean with soft expressions of whetstone and rainwater. Light whispers of Douglas fir and American oak are distinct, enjoyable, very subtle. I drink Live Oak when I have vodka, whether I mix it with something or drink it straight with a little lime or something. It is Live Oak Vodka. They got a 91 score in the Ultimate Spirits Challenge of 2K22. They are distilled down at Coastal Bend Distilling in Beeville, Texas, the official vodka of our show. It is Live Oak Vodka. All right. What else today? As far as Cowboys, I mean, well, I'll have more on this game probably tomorrow. Wednesday's the day that guys get back and really start doing stuff, you know. And so we'll get storylines that'll come down after today's practice is over. Mainly it's just about keeping this damned offensive line that has no depth as healthy as they can here with the weak part of the schedule at the beginning of the season, which is good. All right, you got any like hip-hop production value maybe? Because we're going to talk NBA, you know. I don't want to be Jan Wenner, but, you know, I will stereotype the NBA.
Hip-hop.
I know we got rock stuff in there.
Wasn't prepared.
Not that rock and roll fans, it's just us producing on the air. It's funny.
Does this sound like hip-hop?
Go ahead. You tell me. It sounds more like NBA music than the rock stuff we have in there. Not like rock and roll fans can't like the NBA, but, you know, you got a profile. Yeah, I like it.
Work.
I like this.
A little lo-fi.
Shit. See, I'm right. I'm not racist. I'm I'm right. I don't want to talk in. I'm not in the mood to talk NBA either when listening to like fucking Pantera. This is NBA music. So, a couple of things here on this. I'm getting excited for training camp, boy. We are now mid-September. Training camp for the Spurs is around the corner. By the way, I've not heard back from the Spurs with regards to our credential request for the season.
I believe the deadline is Friday?
Yeah. Well, we already got ours in. We got ours in early.
Yeah. So let's not freak out yet.
Yeah. That's next week's when they'll probably let us know whether or not we got in. But hopefully they won't base the decision on the mug shots we sent them yesterday that we look like two fugitives on the run rather than media
Mine
hacks.
looks pretty rough. I probably should have smiled.
Yeah, dude, you look gangsta as shit.
Someone was saying that I look like the one who's 9 years older.
Yeah, you look toe up from the flow up in that picture you sent the Spurs.
My Asian genes are wearing off, apparently.
That's a drop. He can make those jokes because he's Asian. All right. We spend so much time. My fingers were right here. That was him. I did not do that drop. I don't want to get canceled. At least not until I make a few $1 million. I get $4 or $5 million in the bank. Go ahead and cancel me. But wait till I get that money. All right. So training camp's around the corner. I'm excited. Whether we get credentials or not, I'm stoked for the Spurs. Obviously, for all the obvious Wembanyama reasons.
Spurs.
But I don't want my euphoria, and I think I said, and I have been pretty confident all summer, I think that the Spurs actually could be a contender for the play-in playoff game. I think the Spurs might wrestle with 500 this coming season. I'm really confident. But I also am realistic, and I'm not expecting Victor Wembanyama to go out there and they're just going to win 60 games. He's one dude. Obviously, in the NBA, one guy makes massive difference. In no sport in the world does one guy make as big a difference as in basketball because there's only 5 dudes out there at once. let's again, as we get closer to training camp, because I've been thinking about it. That's what Pop say. We're going to let Victor be Victor. He's not David. He's not Timmy. He's not Kobe. Just let Victor be Victor. He's a baby. Now, he has played the pro leagues in France for the last couple of years. So it's not like he's been playing at Towson State or anything.
Au contraire, bonjour.
He wasn't playing fucking, Dill Pickle Tech in college. He's been playing against grown-ass guys in the Euro League, which is not a horrible league. But I'm preaching caution here with the Spurs. David Robinson was at Navy for 4 years, mixed in 2 years of service in that time. David was a grown-ass man when he got here. Timmy played 4 years of college ball at Wake Forest in the ACC. And when Tim got here, Tim walked into a group of Spurs it was a veteran-laden team ready to roll when Tim got here. Wemby is 19 years old, and he's walking into a Spurs scene in which they're going to be far and away the youngest team in the league because they don't have Mario Elie and David Robinson and Avery Johnson like Tim had the luxury of having. David Robinson was 23 years old or whatever it was when he got here. Wemby's a baby. I saw this note yesterday. Only one number one overall pick has made the playoffs his rookie year since 2009. Since 2009, so what's that, 14 years? Only one number one overall draft pick has been a playoff team, his rookie year. And it was a kid that didn't even play worth the shit, Markelle Fultz. The Sixers went to the playoffs Markelle Fultz rookie year. It wasn't because of Markelle Fultz, because he sucks. So I'm just saying, Wemby's a baby. The Spurs are nothing but a bunch of babies.
I'm just saying.
With the exception of a couple of, spare veterans they've got. Let Wemby be Wemby. They do have some young guys that are capable. And either some of these younger guys, they develop and they fit in well with Wemby this year, and it works out and the Spurs do challenge for a playoff spot. Or these guys are not ready. All hell kind of breaks loose, and the Spurs are right back in the lottery next year, which is okay too. There are very few outcomes this first season for Wembanyama that are going to be failed. Matter of fact, I can't think of one, unless Wembanyama gets hurt or he's so terrible the Spurs send him to Austin. Short of him being demoted to the G League, there's not really any bad outcome this year in year one. And they've got young kids that I think are going to take steps this year. Watch out for that Keldon Johnson. And it's all about chemistry with Wemby and how they fit in with Wembanyama. If Wembanyama is half as good as we're all hoping he is, that will elevate the games of some of these other young bucks around him. So you got the natural just evolution of these young kids like my man Devin Vassell, who is ready to take that next step anyway. Throw in Wembanyama, and if those two have any sort of chemistry out there, then Vassell's going to take off, and the Spurs will win more games. So it's like, it's a win-win scenario. Even if they lose, it's a win-win scenario for the Spurs in year one. My man Devin Vassell. So Vassell, he's pissed over last year how it went. He spent most of the year hurt. He's only 23 years old, but he's had knee issues. He has got to fight through that. He's trying to put a little bit of weight on him so his legs aren't so, compromised. He hired a dietitian in the offseason because he was, eating too much crap. And he realizes he's got to clean that up. And he's busted his ass to take that next level and stay healthy. By the time he got back in March last year, when the knee finally got better, okay, were they milking it a little bit because the Spurs were in tank mode? Sure. But he was still hurt enough to not play as much. But in March, when Vassell got out there, he showed what they wanted him to show when they brought him in here in the lottery a couple of years ago. He's terrific. He's got terrific talent anyway. He's a damn good defender on the perimeter. His 3 balls, he's a good 3-point shooter, and he's working on his all-around game. Doesn't have 3 balls. He has the ability to make 3 balls, so to speak. So I look out for my man Devin Vassell. That's my dude. A Jert purchase could be in order. I don't think I'm going to get a Wembanyama Jert. I like to go against the grain. I like to get I like the glue guys. I'm a worker bee Jert purchaser normally. Now I got to make sure that they're going to be on the team. That's my old rule. If you're going to go get like some worker bee on their bench or whatever, you're going to go buy that Jert. Check the contract status of this guy. Make sure that he's at least going to be around for a few years, because you hate to go get a Jert from the pro shop and the guy's not even a Spur in 6 months. It's a bad investment. Vassell's going to be here for a long, long time. Unless there's a trade offer the Spurs just can't turn down. My man Devin Vassell should be here a while. He's outside of Wemby, who's obvious. Vassell's my favorite Spur as we speak right now. And by the way, shout out to Devin. He just got a new endorsement with a company that make the weight plates that go on gyms. Because he's been trying to put on muscle. And he got hooked up with the company's called Steel Plate, I want to say. And he wants to be around long term. He wants to be in on this Wembanyama run, and he's taking it damn serious. All right, watch out for Devin Vassell. Just jinxed him. I'm knocking on the table. Okay, cool. I don't want the curse to get him. That's my dude. All right, San Antonio City Soccer Club, the official soccer club of Thunderdome. They are starting up their fall season. I've got video that I'll probably want to I'll share tomorrow. So, we've got the picture of the sign, the Thunderdome sign out there. And that was beautiful, and it warmed my heart when I saw this go up, that we now have our own sign out at San Antonio City Soccer Club. There it is if you're watching. I need to send this to LG for tomorrow's show. I've got some video of practice going on last night. So right there where you see that sign, I'm going to send you some video for tomorrow's show. You're going to see a bunch of kids running around actually playing. So they're actually now out there practicing on our field.
Oh, very nice.
Dude, I got my eyes welled up when I saw that. It got real, man. It got real, damn it, last night when I actually saw kids out there running around on that field kicking the ball. Which reminds me, you and I have got to sit down with the people at San Antonio City Soccer and come up with a date for a Thunderdome night.
Yeah, we do. Be a great bit.
Need to go out there on a Saturday or a Sunday when we're both off and invite Thunderdome and watch a soccer match, and then we need to go shut down that little Specs bar down the street when it's over. That's what we need to do. All right, so I'm working on that. I wanted it to get a little cooler. It's not quite cool enough.
Yeah, we kind of got teased by that little tiny cold front that came in.
Yeah, it's back hot again. Not like 100 degrees, but it's starting to get up there. All right. Do you have that picture of that Thunderdomer, Jeff, I sent you?
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to give a shout out. I want to give shout outs to members on occasion. By the way, we had a guy, thanks to the dude earlier who became a member. All right, that dude right there, if you're watching, that is a Thunderdomer called Jeff Rodriguez. So Jeff,
What's happening?
and a Mexican named Jeff. I wonder if it's like Jefe. Like, what's your real name? Jeff Asario? I mean, how many Mexicanos just named their son Jeffrey? Can you think of any other Mexican Jeffs? No,
not that I can think of.
Maybe his name's like Josue or something, so he just goes by Jeff. I bet you it's not just Jeff. But look at that badass shirt he's got on. Look at that shit there. That's great. That's good times there. How about that? So I guess he was watching the Cowboys Overreact presented by the Law Office of Orlando Kell Sunday at the Ringer, and I had my Cowboys hula shirt on. I have a shirt from the Hellscape. Well, actually, I bought it at Jerry World, but it's a Hawaiian shirt with what are the flowers on that shirt? Plumerias? I can't remember. It's a Hawaiian shirt, but it's got the blue stars all in it. He's got one too. See, Jeff's? That's his Hawaiian Cowboys shirt. We might have started a new bit here.
Mm-hmm. Are you gonna get a Spurs Hawaiian shirt if they have one?
Maybe, yeah. Get the Hawaiian version of all of our teams. Mm-hmm. Might be a good bit right there.
Okay. Did you see AF Blue 82's in here? Jeff Garcia from Locked on Spurs. There's another Jeff Mexican.
Oh yeah. I bet his name's also like Josue though too.
What was I talking about? Oh yeah. Have you seen the baseball Spurs jerseys that they're selling now? on NBA.com? I'll see if I can pull them up. They're pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
here,
I would actually wear them. Yeah.
I was about to close the show, but now I want to see this. Pull this up
right.
while I do some more
Yeah,
things. That's fine. So, shout out to member and fine Thunderdomer Jeff Rodriguez, who wanted to show me his Cowboys themed hula shirt. I love it. Love it very hard. All right. Oh, I got a time kill. I'm about to start getting back into baseball. I stuck by baseball the entire first half this year, and I've kept a half an eyeball on baseball, even though the football season's now started. Granted, I haven't watched a whole lot of baseball in the last 30 days, but I'm getting ready to get re-geared up for ball because the playoffs are in 2 weeks. My God.
2 weeks.
So, and look at the AL West now. After what a marathon the season is. At one point, it looked like Texas was going to run away with it. Then all of a sudden, the Mariners got hot out of nowhere. Then all of a sudden, the Astros got healthy and they got rolling. And now all three of those groups all three of the Rangers, the Astros, and Mariners have been so up and so down. And you look at the standings right now. The Astros have a half a game lead on the Rangers and the Mariners. So you've got three teams all within half a game of each other in the AL West. And whoever winds up in third in the West is most likely not going to make a wild card. So you either need to win the division or at least finish in second place. The Astros may not make the playoffs after everything we've seen and heard. The Astros lately are not playing very good ball. And Dallas's own Ryan Presley, their badass closer, all of a sudden is not the same dude. But it should be a fun 2 weeks here, paying attention to the AL West as the Astros and the Rangers and the Mariners all duke it out here for two playoff spots. The third team in that division is probably not going to make it. All right, you got the shirt up for me. There you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's pretty kick-ass.
Yeah,
it's got pretty cool.
It's got the Spurs logo there and the Chaps logo on the other side.
What do you wear that with? Jeans or shorts?
I don't know what you call that. There is some kind of
the hell?
Tribal
that's
Mexican
like some shit
thing,
my
like
great
Azteca pattern.
Yeah, my
I don't know.
great grandparents on my grandpa's side.
They're trying to throw some culture in there. You know?
Yeah, well, you know they're marketing the. Well, you know, the Spurs are going back to Mexico this year to play some games.
Of course.
That would be a great road trip if we could somehow go to the Spurs game in Mexico City.
What happened last time they went there? Didn't it like catch on fire and they had to like cancel the game or something like that?
Well, the court flooded.
Of course.
Hey, man? Hey, can you come back tomorrow? Hey, mañana. And so the NBA tried to get the Spurs to wait and start the game late that night. You remember? And Pop's like, fuck that. We're not doing that.
He was like, nope.
Got him back on the bus. They went to the airport and got the hell out of there. And for about a night, we weren't so sure if the Spurs were going to have to forfeit a game because Pop's like, fuck that. We're not playing. This is ridiculous.
If they do a Mexico game, let's definitely try to get credentials. Because I'll put forth my own money to travel down there.
Okay.
Because I want to check out Mexico City anyway.
If I don't get a full-time salary job, though, between now and then, we're not doing it because I don't have any money. But provided I get a full-time job between now and then, I'll tell you that I tentatively would like to talk about the possibility of perhaps going. Possibly. It would be a great field trip, I admit. It's about the funds. All right, now we're done. That's it. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate Thunderdome hard. Thank you to Devin Vassell, F. Dan Patrick, F. Art Briles, F. Jan Wenner. Shout out to Deuce Vaughn. Thank you to DJ LG. Thank you to Thunderdome. Love you boys hard. We'll see you up in here at Manana for Fart Drop Thursday. Peace out. Enjoy Fat Mike.
Come back, you puppy!
This program was made possible by contributions from viewers and listeners like you. Thank you.
Hell, I like you. You can come over to my house and fuck my sister.
This is a Bronx-bound 6 local train. The next stop is Spring.